All right, hello everyone. My name is Jordan. This is Jerome, and this is Neena. We created an application called Coders Who Lift. It's an application that allows you to research specific exercises, as well as watch how-to YouTube videos on how to do that exercise. It also allows you to track and record your gains. So working out at a gym, starting off at first, a lot of people have beginner mentality where they're afraid to work out. And they're afraid that, oh, everyone's going to look at me, they're going to think I'm a beginner. People bring a notebook and a pen to record their information down, bring tips with them. So our application allows you to run from your phone to record information, just to view exercises, so you can stray away from that beginner mentality and make yourself feel like and look like you know what you're doing. So with that in mind, we wanted to keep our functionality and our design simple. We wanted to make it so that you just go into the gym, you research your exercise. You go into the gym, you research your exercise, and you record your results right away. With that being said, I'm going to pass it off to Neena.
So in order for us to create this application that was not only user-friendly but also kind of targeted an audience that was beginners as well as intermediate and more advanced lifters, we pulled data from 4 different APIs. The first API that we used was from the WGER website, which is a German fitness application, which is where we got our images from, as well as when you click on each one, that's where the description came from this WGR API. We then also use a Firebase API so that the user can enter their information and it will store on the server side so that they can always access it later on. We chose to use Google Charts API so that when the user inputted their reps, their sets, and their weight, it would show up in a chart which will be shown throughout the demo in order so that they can kind of see it in a more concrete way instead of just numbers, and they can see their progress, they can track any of their status as well. And the last API that we used was the YouTube API so that when the individual clicked on either of these images or exercises, it will show a playlist down here of someone actually doing those exercises, so that this can kind of target the beginner as well, so that they can see the form, they can see any of structure and any tips that might be needed that they might not otherwise have known.
So I worked on the WGER API. So what I did was I created a function that placed that set up the query URL and utilized an AJAX call to pull the information from WGER. I then placed that into a variable, which I then utilize jQuery to append to the HTML, which is what you see here. For the images, they actually didn't have a way to set up a query URL itself to pull those images. So what I had to do was I had to download the images themselves from the website, and I placed the pathways into an object, and then I set up a data attribute over here for each of the images. That way when you clicked, it accessed that specific pathway and appended an image HTML tag to the specific div.
Okay, so I'll walk through some of the code we use for Firebase. I'll start off with the login button. So it's a simple on-click, and then we take the value, it's not shown. Okay, so for the login button, it's right here. I'm going to log into my account here. That pulls all the data that I put in. I worked out like 10 times yesterday, as you can see. What happened there was it took the value of this text box and put it into the username variable. And then we put the username variable and we put that into the plot function. Now the plot function up here, an issue we ran into was calling data back from Firebase. We ran into an issue where when we were creating multiple users, for some reason it was copying data over from one user to the other. So we actually discovered the Firebase API, which made it a lot more effective in grabbing data, a lot more accurate. We use an AJAX call to bring all the username, all the user data through to the response function here. We created a multi-dimensional array, which is called the array of data here. The first row is going to be the labels. You have data, reps, sets, and weight. We use the .each method to query our way through all of the different data points. And based on the value of the workout that's selected, so for instance, if I select military press, it's going to bring up that graph. What happened there was we use the if statement to grab that. We take the converted date, which is the time right now in Unix, and then we convert that to the month-day format that you see at the bottom of the graph right here. It takes all that and we push it into that multi-dimensional array, and then we push that array into the draw chart function. And that is preset code made by Google. I'll show you down here. So this was made by Google. What we did to edit that is we created a for loop, actually 2 for loops, to loop through this multi-dimensional array in order to put the data into the proper order that Google Charts could understand. And once we do that, it goes right into this function here, as you can see, as we loop through it. Also, I want to show you guys the Add User button. Oh yeah, sure. I was going to do that right after this. So to add a user, we use this function here, fitData.child new user variable dot push new user variable. Another issue we ran into was adding data points to the Firebase data. It was giving us a random string of letters and numbers. We couldn't use that to effectively get to our data because it was just randomly generated. So by using this, it gives it a specific name. So if I put Jerome as my username, the element's going to be called Jerome. And then I'm going to go ahead and well, Neena, you walk through yours. Yeah.
So in order to get the YouTube API to work, I had to create an API key, which was unique to us as the coders and then our project as well. And this API key was also needed into our query URL, which the first part of it came from the actual YouTube API, and then the middle portion came from the playlist ID, which I had to get by actually going to the playlist that we wanted to show, and then grab the ID, and then we had to add our own specific YouTube API key. So then when we had that, we used the AJAX call to actually get these results. And we appended those playlist items to our YouTube div, which is shown down here. So when an individual clicked on these images, which had a class of video, which you can see, so when they clicked on that, it cleared out this div so that the next time they clicked on a different exercise, another set of playlists will come up for each.
Now I'm going to do a walkthrough of the site. So does anybody want to give us a username to use? Somebody want to give us their workout data? All right, we'll use John. I don't know if anybody in here is named John, but we'll use that. So we just created a user. All right, and then we log into John's user. Now, there's no data yet, so let's say John does some squats. How many squats can you do? 50 squats. All right, so we'll do 50 and say you do 5 sets of that. So you're squatting 600 pounds. I think you could do that. That's one day. Another day, 10, 40, 800 pounds today. And then you can see that that graph does all the stuff. It updates in real time. And then below here, if you want to see how to do squats better, use that YouTube API, it pulls up a video. And then also over here you can see all the data that the other API is bringing to show how to do the workout and images.
So for our application, we want to go take it a step further. We actually want to be able to add the ability to track your weight as well as your calories and nutrition. And we also want to expand our database from rather than just having these 6 major exercises to a full database of exercises and workouts you can take and use. And that's Coders Who Lift.
Jerome, would you mind going back to that first test that we had, and then maybe adding a data point to that? If you had that question on Monday.
Okay. I think that was for my profile. Okay.
Go ahead and add it today.
Okay, so let's say today, I do 40, 70. That's going to be too much. I don't want to lie that much. So that's that. I improved greatly. Yep.
Questions, comments, feedback?
Can you guys shrink the page? Is it mobile responsive?
Yes, you can actually pull it up on your phone.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Say like fitness apps are some of like the hottest apps on the market today.
Yeah.
So
Everyone's trying to go into a fit kick now.
yeah, it's really something. So to be able to use this on your phone is like literally the difference between someone using your app and someone not using your app, because no one's gonna go into the laptop. So
Yeah.
good job on that. Photo to lift.
Any photo that lifts 50% off
So I love the fact that you guys are able to get Google Shots working and that you guys are able to track individual users. Can you maybe showcase what they look like on the Firebase side?
Yeah. Let me log into Firebase. Could you hold it? Just log into yours, I guess? Okay. That's not it.
Yeah. It might sign.
What is my Google password? I haven't typed it in a long time. There we go.
Forget it. But you guys are effectively having different children for each user.
Yeah.
Logging the data for each.
And then instead of those random letters and numbers, the actual name of the user.
At the bottom, under the descriptions of the, so how is that generated for different sets of workouts or different types of workouts?
Yep.
Oh,
Every different workout, military press.
so how long did you have to be hovered over the image for it to?
I know, it's like a click.
Oh, you click?
Yeah, we click it.
Yeah. Awesome. I really like it.
The guy just works out when you hover over it.
Oh.
So if I give you one piece of feedback, this is feedback that I give everyone, and that is always, in general, it's sometimes good to start with your demo before you talk about your demo. So start with your demo and just like show it so that people know very clearly what is possible. That way when they look at the code, they're like, oh, dang. You know? So that'll be- All right. Well, thanks again, guys. That was awesome.